I just want to wish you all a very happy new year. I will not be on for your entire program. I just wanted to get on to make sure that you all were making it, and you seem to be doing a great job of getting ready for your meeting, which should start in about 3 minutes. But again, I wish you all a very, very happy new year, and I'm glad to see you're up all ready to meet. Again, I wish you all a happy new year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you, Henry.
Yeah, same to you.
Yes,
Same here for Bruce.
and it's
Henry, I
already
want to
being.
thank I want to thank you for all the work you've done in getting all these things recorded online. You've done a lot of work and in the background. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, it's my pleasure. You know, the more we can get out, the better we do as a group. And I was talking to the Federation president for Georgia yesterday, and I just did a update. She now has a 4-minute message. Ours is 3 minutes and 42 seconds, I think. But you know, the more we can do, the better we're going to be in serving not only ourselves but those who don't know about us yet. And I'm looking forward to a very happy and beneficial 2021. We're about to start preparation for our digital meeting, and that's all going to be on the positive. And when we get that going and you're up and visiting that, if things go as we want, we may have a $250 cash prize. And that's still being negotiated, but if that happens, and I expect it will, everybody who's on the website at about 1 o'clock will have a chance to win a $250 prize. And that doesn't count all of the chapter stuff that's going to be given out also. So it's going to be a great meeting, and I encourage you all to make May 12th one of your days to have yourself online all day.
May 12th, right?
Yes, May 12th will be the Federation annual meeting by GoToWebinar. All right, folks, have a great meeting.
I guess that means we're ready to go. All right, we ready to go live, John?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I want to welcome everybody to the January meeting of our Chapter 192 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. And I guess as far as calling to order, first thing I'll do is have the pledge to the flag. Do we have the flag, or do we want to just hold the flag up? I guess I didn't get that straightened out, John, before we start. There's a flag. Right, Cleveland's got a flag. Okay. And let's see, is Roy down there with us to lead us in the pledge?
Roy's not on this morning.
He's not on. Okay. Well, if everybody will prepare for it, I will lead us in the pledge then. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States and to the republic for which it
stands
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice Wow.
Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Okay, would you like to open the meeting with some words as our chaplain, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. I just want to come from my heart today. I didn't have a section of a book or something. And I just want to say that we said on January 2020 to each other with much optimism, Happy New Year. And realized that the biggest challenge to being happy was approaching us with an event that would give the whole world anything but happy. See, on December 31, 2020, it was a New Year, but it was with a different approach. With a renewed understanding and determination from all the experiences we received in 2020, surviving a world pandemic, here we are again, able to continue our journey and responsibility to keep and to bring justice to our family and friends, even our nation. The ultimate success of the past year, I believe, has been that we are a people who can make a way for what seems impossible. So you can congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, you're survivors. I take no glory in being able to confess it, but I give all the credit to God. Happy New Year to our large organization that used all the resources made available to remember our aim and maintain the attitude to make national active retired federal employees association, especially the faithful chapters on the Centurion Mark, a beacon on the shore, the hope we can depend on. God bless you all and you. Dedicated to them. Did you hear all of it?
Betty, this is Chris. No, I didn't. It was breaking up. There's a lot of noise in the background. I didn't get any of it. I'll get back with you later.
Okay.
Dave, turn your mic back on.
Mike is.
Thank you for reminding me, because I want to ask everybody else to put their mics on mute, if you will, as I introduce our guest speaker, so we can kind of cut down on the background noise. That's good. Okay, good. Okay, it's my pleasure this morning to introduce our speaker from AARP. And AARP was formerly known as the American Association of Retired Persons, but it currently goes as the name AARP. So I think we all pretty well know, are familiar with the term. They focus on issues affecting those of us over the age of 50, which I think includes all of us. And I remember when I was age 50 and I started getting invitations to AARP, I was greatly insulted, but and I found out that that's just what they do, and which is a good thing to start early, because some people do retire early, and the issues that they talk about, that they represent us on, that they give us information on, it pertains to people as 50 as well. They currently have over 38 million members, and I read somewhere that their magazine and bulletin that it sends to its members are the two largest publications in circulation in the United States. Now, AARP was founded in 1958, and Pax is going to go over some of this as well. I'm going to try not to overlap what she's doing, but she's also going to talk about it being a tax-exempt social welfare organization, and as such, it's a 501c4 entity. Now, I'm going to take a little liberty to talk about that, Pax, because I worked for the IRS for 39 years, and I can tell you that maintaining that status as a tax-exempt entity is very important to them. And they're really careful to follow the guidelines. So she's going to delve into that just a little bit. AARP provides extensive consumer information, volunteer opportunities, and events. And I know on a regular basis by email and in their magazine, I receive a lot of information on health, including COVID news, finances, security, and other interesting articles. And in fact, one article I got last week, get this, was entitled, "What All Those Body Noises Are Trying to Tell You." So very interesting. So this morning, anyway, I'm introducing Pax Baptist. Pax, am I pronouncing your name right? I guess Pax Baptist. And she's going to talk to us about AARP. Now, although AARP is located, they're headquartered in Washington, D.C., she's a local. She's here in the Raleigh area. She tells me that she's from here. She moved away for a while, but she's glad to be back home. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Pax, and I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Thank you all so much for having me today. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up? Okay. And I apologize if I am looking strange. I've gotten some new telework equipment for Christmas, and my webcam is throwing me off a little bit. This is my first time actually using it. So anyways, my apologies for that. If when I look at you, it looks like I'm looking over here. So I'm trying to handle that as much as possible. So a little bit about me. I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. I grew up here. I moved away to Washington, D.C. After college, and I lived there for about 8 years. I worked in advocacy for education there in D.C. And community outreach, and recently moved back to Raleigh about a year ago. I had a baby just a few months ago, and so I wanted to come back home and be closer to family. My husband's family is also here, so I'm very, very happy to be back. I'm very happy to be a part of AARP and to be joining you today. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of AARP. If you have any questions at the end, I'm happy to take those. As I said, I'm fairly new to the organization, but I will answer those as best as possible, or write them down and get back to you. So let me share my screen here. Okay, we're going to play from the beginning. All right. Can you all see my screen?
We can see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great. So the main question that I get asked when folks hear that I work from AARP is, what exactly does AARP do? The second question I get is, what exactly do you do? And so I'm going to try to just dive a bit into our history and what we do as an organization. I will tell you that my role, my official title is Associate State Director of the Triangle Region for Outreach and Advocacy, which is a mouthful. I do primarily volunteer engagement with our volunteers in the Triangle area, as well as community outreach with various organizations here. So AARP was founded by Dr. Ethel Percy Andrews. It was founded in 1958. She was a retired educator from California, and she spent a lot of her time after retirement helping fellow retired teachers. And the story is that she went to go visit a fellow teacher one day who someone was concerned about, and she found her living in a chicken coop in the back of someone else's home because she couldn't afford to both pay her rent and to pay for all of her medications as a retired person. And so Dr. Andrews began to visit and advocate and really lobby to insurance companies who did not really want to do business with her or offer insurance to retirees until she found one that did. From there, the Retired Teachers Association of California began offering insurance to its retirees. Other states heard about this and wanted to participate, soon the National Retired Teachers Association was formed. Maybe you've heard of them. They're still around today. Over time, other retirees who were not teachers wanted in on this, and AARP was then launched to serve all retirees and originally to get access to group insurance coverage. That is one thing that AARP has remained committed to since its founding, is ensuring that older adults have access to quality, affordable healthcare. And Dr. Andrews is considered our very first volunteer, and the National Retired Teachers Association is still a part of AARP. Our vision statement here, a society in which all people live with dignity and purpose and fulfill their goals and dreams, really speaks to the commitment that Dr. Andrews made when she founded AARP. And our mission statement has evolved over the years, but it now embodies really a proclamation of purpose by AARP to empower people to choose how they live as they age. Couple fast facts. So for more than 60 years, AARP has been serving its members and creating positive social change. AARP has 53 state offices. So we are in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. As Dave mentioned earlier, our headquarters for AARP, our big office, is in Washington, D.C., but we do have state offices all over the country. And the office that I am a part of is the North Carolina state office. We have 38 million members nationwide. And we have 3 entities. So the first is the 501c4 nonprofit. We also have the AARP Foundation, which is a 501c3, and AARP Services, which I'll get into a bit more in a minute. So AARP in North Carolina, we have 1.1 million members approximately in North Carolina, over 500 dedicated volunteers. I will say I have about 100 or so in the Triangle region. And we have 44 AARP local chapters. There are about 3 in the Triangle. And we have 24,000 activists engaged in federal, state, and local policy change to positively impact what living looks like for older adults. Our state office is located right in Raleigh, North Carolina, close to NC State, and we have 12 full-time staff that are a part of the North Carolina state office. Our issue areas. AARP's work falls under 3 broad priorities: health security, financial resilience, and personal fulfillment, also known as self, health, and wealth. So under health security, AARP preserves and defends Medicare, works to ensure adequate health care coverage, supports people caring for older relatives or friends, and fosters brain health programs. Our financial resilience, or wealth, includes improving access to retirement savings plans, protecting Social Security, preventing fraud through our Fraud Watch Network, which is a huge program for us, and other efforts, and offering AARP Foundation's tax aid, which is the nation's only completely free tax service for folks. And a program that each year it helps hundreds and hundreds of people from low to moderate income file their taxes. And the personal fulfillment, or self, takes many forms. It can include Life Reimagined, which is, as we think about folks developing different hobbies, and also things like we have movies for grown-ups and different entertainment options that are pretty fun as well. How we accomplish our work at AARP. To accomplish our goals, AARP relies heavily on all of our amazing volunteers that we have to advocate, educate, and conduct community service. The advocacy accomplishments of AARP are pretty well known in communities across the nation, and our focus there is really just protecting Americans aged 50 plus in many ways. Again, we focus heavily on healthcare, Social Security, as far as our advocacy and policy change is concerned. Volunteers are also really involved in our education efforts. For example, alerting neighbors to frauds and scams in their communities. We have Fraud Watch that is specific to the Triangle area or North Carolina as a state. What scams are impacting folks and what should folks look out for. And finally, we have a strong connection with organizations like Meals on Wheels to combat hunger and food insecurity in our communities. Our federal advocacy. So as an advocacy organization, we fight for policies at the local, state, and federal level that improve the lives of older adults. Primarily at the federal level, we are fighting for things like voting rights to ensure that all Americans, and especially those aged 50 plus, have access to voting. Social Security is another federal issue, and a big one is the cost of drugs and pharmaceuticals. Our state advocacy priorities, and these were just developed recently for 2021, and these will most likely impact our agenda for the next couple of years. The first is our small business retirement program. The second is nursing home advocacy, and the third is our advanced practice nurse bill. And if anyone has a special interest in any of those, I'm happy to dive in one-on-one. They're very robust programs. Also very important as we think about the lives of older adults here in our state. So the services that AARP offers, we have two big services nationwide. One is AARP Driver Safety, and the other is what I had mentioned earlier, our AARP Foundation Tax Aid. Both are huge programs. Thousands of people participate, and we have really, really amazing volunteers that run those as well in each state. As Dave was mentioning earlier, something that we do not do is contribute to any partisan or political campaigns or political action committees. We are strictly a nonpartisan organization. We feel very strongly about some issues as they relate to the lives of older adults, but we never ever endorse political candidates or finance any political parties. We also do not sell AARP memberships. We do not sell or even promote AARP endorsed products or services. And again, I just have to reiterate, we are a strictly nonpartisan organization. So additional member benefits, and I will tell you, member benefits are not necessarily my wheelhouse, as I am more of a connector with our volunteers and our community-based programs. However, our member benefits are pretty great. I listed just a few things here. Travel, saving 10 to 25% on hotels, rental cars, dining, entertainment, shopping, big money savers, as well as just opportunities, especially with the pandemic and AARP being completely virtual for the first time ever. We've always been more of a boots on the ground kind of an organization. We have developed a lot of different entertainment options for our members. So those have included things like concerts, whether we've partnered with different symphonies or orchestras across the country, or bands that have done some live streaming, movies. So that has been a really fun thing to develop for folks. So that is really it. We would love it if you kept in touch with us. My email address is listed at the bottom here. And I would be happy to talk more with you about what we do as an organization. Let me pull you back up here. What we do as an organization, as well as if you would be interested in getting more involved with us as a volunteer, or if I can connect you with anyone to give you more information about membership, I would be happy to do that as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Actually, if somebody was interested in joining, how would one join AARP?
As a member?
Yeah, just as a member, yeah.
Yep. So just that link that I put up, and I'm happy to put that in the chat right now. They would just go straight there, and they would be able to fill out the information to become a member. It's a very easy process. It would take you all of about 5 minutes. And there is a small cost associated. It is $16 annually per year. And I'll put that link in the chat right now, as well as my email address if anyone would like that.
I would mention that I really appreciate the magazine. I keep it laying by my chair because there are so many things that are of interest, and I've noticed in the years or more in the 30 years since I was 50. The improvement and the expansiveness of the whole magazine. I'm surprised to hear that it has such a wide circulation.
Thank you for that.
Could you give some more specific examples of some of the volunteer work besides the tax help?
Yeah, absolutely. So here in the Triangle, our volunteers, I will be honest that it has shifted a bit with the pandemic because we aren't doing any in-person events currently. Previously, and what we will get back to hopefully soon, we don't know for sure exactly when, is a lot of events around the Triangle, social events, running booths, again, partnering with organizations like Meals on Wheels, or other organizations where your passions might lie, to do things like, we would pack bag lunches, or with the pandemic striking, we have partnered with the Department on Aging in Wake County, Orange County, to virtually be able to connect with folks who are feeling socially isolated. And so we have, volunteer buddy systems. So folks are getting the socialization that we're so used to having before the pandemic, to ensure that that's still occurring. Also, our volunteers, if they have a specific area of interest or a specific expertise, such as, I have folks who spent a lot of time in their career working on fraud-related activities. So someone like that might be able to host a workshop or a webinar for folks to join so that they can be up to date on all the scams, the current scams. We also have a big, it's called Livable Communities, and it focuses on things like transportation, affordable housing, which are big issues right now in the Triangle. I have folks who have a particular interest in transportation, for example. So someone like that, I may connect to legislators in the state who are making decisions about like a railway system in Wake County in Raleigh, for example, so that they can get lots of good information and we can be sure that we're keeping all of our members informed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had mentioned that I'm a longtime member of AARP, and it seems like every day I get an email from AARP on some information of discounts or interesting articles about health. Mm-hmm. They've also led me to buying some books that are pertinent for people our age and addressing certain things. But I was going to say, there's one segment of society that I've only seen AARP addressed. I think it's really interesting, and that's caregivers. Mm-hmm. Provides advice to caregivers, people who are giving care to either elderly parents or handicapped individuals, and taking note of their needs as well, and addresses the things that they need to do to take care of themselves. And I think that's really noteworthy. Like I say, I've never seen any other organization address that particular segment of society.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I didn't go into a ton of detail about that program, but you're right. It is. It's a huge piece of what we do. Before the pandemic, we were partnering with churches and nursing homes and other organizations to give presentations and workshops and try to help folks to feel like they were getting the best information possible to be the best caregivers they could be. We found that with the pandemic, caregivers have felt especially isolated. If they're taking care of someone who is much older, has pre-existing conditions, they were isolating themselves even more than many other folks were. And so there again, we've partnered a lot with local churches to speak. A lot of our churches are doing virtual services so that we can give information to folks and try to set up calls and buddy systems where possible so that folks are feeling like they're not as isolated.
Well, later on, can you call that massage lady for me?
I'm sorry?
Be careful.
Oh.
Would you speak a little bit about the driver ed?
I honestly don't know a ton about that program. I know that the focus there is to ensure that folks are able to be as autonomous and independent as possible and as safe as possible in their driving for as long as possible. But I would be happy to get more information. That's a nationwide program, and so it's not necessarily something that our my local volunteers are working with me on. They work with our national office on it. But I am happy to find some more information and put it in our chat box right now.
If I can add to that, I haven't taken those driver's ed courses, but I know that when they're advertised by AARP, you can get. They say that you can get a car insurance discount by taking those courses. Mm-hmm. One thing, and the other thing that's kind of similar to that. They actually provide courses, online courses for people our age to educate us as to the newfangled things that are the bells and whistles that are associated with the new cars. You know, the little signals about people in the next lane and high beams and all the various things that I know when I sit behind the wheel of a new car, I'm overwhelmed at first. So it's kind of interesting.
I think they also have excellent safety highway program or automobile. If you break down on a highway, towing service, very quick and efficient. And I've only used it a couple times, but one time they even allowed me and my grandson to ride in the tow truck to our house on the way to where they were delivering the car. It's very efficient.
Okay, what do we have?
I just might add that I may be the oldest, longest. I've only been a member of AARP since 1986. So, but it has come in very good, particular for a number of reasons. First of all, if you do any traveling, it's a great saver at motels. And then you get into restaurants, you get discounts in restaurants. It's a tremendous, you will get your membership back many, many times, even if you do any traveling at all for motels and restaurants.
Thank you, and thank you for your longtime membership. I may have to talk to you about some more about AARP. You probably know more than I do.
I'm not only the longest member here, but I'm also the longest member in NARF. And at 92 years old, I'm probably the longest member of a lot of things.
Pretty great. You must have a lot of knowledge.
I just finished writing a book. And it was published in October, and the second book will be published in January.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations.
I have one question. I think I already know the answer to it. Does ARP sell its membership list to other companies that you get advertising in the mail for?
Never. And in fact, when I partner with other organizations to host an event, they have to sign through our legal counsel something that says that they are not only are we not going to provide them any of our member names or emails, but if they happen to get it because of, the program or the event that's being put on, they are not allowed to solicit with any of that information.
Pax, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Betty.
I'll pure ball when I couldn't depend on the tax fee. I've been depending on that for the last 3 years. I had to go to TurboTax. The tax is a link that would help me.
A link to the tax aid service?
To another service, that would help me state. I think it was Department of Tax, something like that. But it helped me a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna. You're going in and out with me a little bit. I'm just gonna send you a chat so I can make sure I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if no one has anything else, I just want to thank you again for allowing me to join your meeting this morning. And I put my email address in the chat here. So please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you might have. And if I don't have the answer, I can certainly connect you to someone who does.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Pax, and I appreciate you taking your time. And I think that was very interesting for me anyway. I hope we all got a lot out of it too. And again, I want to thank you for your time and your presentation, Pax.
Thank you so much.
We're going to move on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said thank you.
We're going to move on to the business portion of our meeting. And Pax, you're welcome to stay. I don't know why you would, but you're welcome to stay or leave either way. Most speakers leave at this point, but I just want to say you're welcome if you want to stay.
Thanks. I'm going to hang on for a couple minutes to chat with Betty a bit, and then I'll probably hop off.
That'd be great. Thank you much. Okay, I'm going to refer to my agenda that I sent out. I called it a tentative, but it's actually final. Chris, would you like to present the minutes from the last meeting, will you, sir? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I did actually get them done during the month of, well, I got them done during December anyway.
Right.
And John has them, and I think he's going to send them to Doris whenever she's able to send them out to everybody.
Okay. Right. That's great. Thank you. Did a good job with that. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Cleveland, Treasurer's report, sir.
Sure. This report is the Treasurer's monthly report for December 2020. We had a total receipts in the amount of $158.34. And as you know, we really haven't been doing anything, meeting or anything. So we didn't have any disbursements. So we have cash on hand, meaning the checkbook, in the amount of $3,644.09. And our investments in the amount of $6,302.67 for total assets in the amount of $9,946.76. We have an obligation to the Federation in the amount of $22.50 for the month of December. And for total for the year will be $465, which would be going to the Federation. And then we have our Alzheimer's fund in the amount of $100 even. And that will be mailed out in the next couple of days. Any questions in regards to that?
Yeah, you said no disbursements and the total asset, I got that. You mentioned an amount due to the Federation of $100 and something, but I didn't get that.
Oh, the $100 is for the Alzheimer's fund?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And then you mentioned two things for the Federation. I got the $465, didn't get the other one.
The dues to the Federation is $22.50 for the month of December.
Okay.
But for the whole year, it's $465.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cleveland. Bruce, membership report, sir.
Make sure I got myself unmuted here. You got me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I had one member to reinstate this past month. He was one of them that I had sent a letter last month. So we got some results from that. We had a new member to join, and I sent him a welcome letter explaining the fact that we are not meeting right now, but we can, use the virtual membership thing. So that's about it. We didn't do too well on getting our email response for non-email members. I only got 3 back so far, and I kind of suspect that's probably going to be it. But maybe with this season right now, people are busy. Hopefully, we might see some coming along later. But I have my doubts right now.
Okay. I think you're right. There may be something we don't get an immediate response, but maybe we will get something, some returns in the next few months. And if nothing else, if these are dues-paying members and we reach out to them, I think there's some appreciation there on their part that we acknowledge they're out there and they have something to show for their dues. This is kind of the way I look at it as a very minimum.
Right.
Did you get Beth's husband? Did he join this past month? Okay, great. Okay.
Bruce, if you have an email address for the new folks, please send it to me and to Doris.
The membership, Bruce, the membership incentive was a good way to get me to sign my husband up before the end of the year.
Okay, good enough.
But he won't be able to attend till next month. He's still working.
All right.
Okay. Yep, you don't have to be retired to join us. That's correct.
Yeah, Dave, did we want to kick around about the doing the directory this year?
I was going to bring that up.
Okay,
Yeah.
good enough.
That's why since you brought it, let's talk about it now. Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do that?
The question is, do we want to go out with a physical hard directory to people as opposed to being online? Is that the question, Bruce?
Yeah, I think we'd meet more people by doing it on hard copy because, still a lot of people not online. A lot of them, we won't be able to touch bases with them, I don't think.
Right.
I've been working on it. So as far as, getting it done, it's no problem. I can do it. And I've been working, kind of working on it as go along here, just in case we decide to go with it. So if you want to do it, I'll be happy to do it.
And so there'd be some cost involved.
Well, yeah, Cleveland, I didn't hear that whether or not had you paid the permit for the bulk mailing yet?
No, it hasn't been paid yet. And basically the amount that we owe on this is $240. We need to pay it before the 24th of February, I believe it is. Yeah, 24th of February.
So we're still good for now.
Oh, yeah. It's still good for now. Sure.
Okay. Dave, I don't know whether you know it or not. We do mysteriously have credit out there to the amount that covers the mailing. So the only expense we have is actually getting the books printed.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, for the last several years, we've had some kind of mysterious budget out there that we've got a lot of money in the kitty, but we can't use that money to pay the permit, but we can use it to mail the directories. So we hope we still got that.
I can add something to that, Bruce. Matter of fact, I talked to Mr. Carpenter last month, sometime at the end of last month. And basically what he inferred information to me regarding the payment. Now we can actually use that money that we have sitting there to pay for our $240 that we owe.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So he will actually deduct that. We just have to send him an email stating that's what we want done.
Okay.
My thing is to not only do it that way, but continue to do it that way until, there's nothing there, I guess. But that would probably be in infinity somewhere because we have about $33,000 just sitting there. So the other part of this is that, he mentioned to me that we could go ahead and debit that each year if we wanted to for the $240 that we owe. And of course, they go up just about every year on the amount. So we can do that, any way we want to do it. We can do it that way. And I talked to Jim last month too about that, and he seems to be, online with doing it that way. But I think he was going to talk to a few more people and see.
Okay.
Seems to me it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so too. Really, yeah.
So,
hey guys, this is Jim.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll try. Whoever was trying to talk, go ahead.
All right, this is Jim.
Okay, go ahead, Jim.
And you wouldn't believe what I've been through this morning to get this thing to work like it is. So I don't know how long it'll last. My phone has dropped out 4 times during the meeting. So, but Edgar and I did discuss this. I called that gentleman last year the first year that I was president, I guess, that I got it in the mail. He never said anything about us using those funds to pay our annual dues, or our annual bill to him. But when Cleveland talked to him, he said we could. So I didn't get up with as many people as I wanted to, but I think it's a good idea to take that money out of that fund to pay for that annual bill. Of course, we may have to have the board decide on it and vote on it, but it seems like a good plan to me that we don't have to come up with our money out of our treasure. And I'll discuss one other thing a little bit later after we get off this subject. I don't want to confuse the two, but if I could stay online with y'all, at least I will. Good to see everybody. I'm sorry I don't have a camera, but that might be a blessing for y'all too. So keep it. So that's just what I just wanted to reiterate what Cleveland said, and that he and I talked about it, and he wouldn't do it unless I said go ahead, and I told him to go ahead, and I took that privilege to tell him that, and he has paid that, or he's going to pay that out of those funds. What do you guys think? Does that sound like a decent thing to do to you?
As long as we can do it, I see no reason. Might as well use it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just surprised that he hasn't told Bruce or I that earlier, because Bruce didn't know that. When Bruce and I talked about it before, we said we can't use it for anything except the mailing. But now then he said we could pay our annuals out of it, so I think it's a good idea.
Maybe they want to get it out of the system. He used it up.
Well, that might free up some money too that we can. And I think all of our members should be informed about what we're doing and why we're doing it. We've got them on the books, but they don't have emails. So I know it's an expense, but until we find out exactly how much expense it will be, I think we ought to send them a hard copy of the minutes every month so that everybody can they can't say that they're not informed about what we're doing. And I think we talked about that before also. And I'll let you all address that. Did we talk about it before? I believe we did.
So that would be, what, about 40 copies of minutes to be mailed out?
I think that's what Bruce said last month, that there was about 40 people that didn't have emails.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can send that bulk mail, though. Can we? I don't know what the limit is on bulk mail, but I know I have a doubt that we could use that. We might have to go first class on those letters. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think bulk mail is in the hundreds, minimum of 100 or more. Not really sure, but pretty sure it is.
You mean as far as bulk mail?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably a fairly good amount to be able to use the bulk mail system. But I mean, as far as mailing it, I think that would be a good idea. I guess it wouldn't be. Well, it'd be 55 cents a 55 cents a letter, but whatever that, we got to think we got the funds.
Well, the other alternative that I would suggest would be to make up a callback list, and each of us take one of the names and call them and give them the information that way. That would be an alternative to the mailing. But I know we kind of tabled that final discussion on it because of the cost of the mailing. I mean, we got 40 people at 55 cents a pop. That's a good piece of change. Not counting the stationery. And somebody's got to lick the envelopes and the stamps.
Postage rate for first class postage is not going up here, staying at 55 cents for the first ounce.
Yeah, that's probably going to go up again, that's ring.
Not this year, no. They've already come out starting January the 24th. The new rates go into effect. The second ounce is a little more expensive, but the first ounce remains the same.
Okay.
Your cost for mailing out 40 letters would be $22, plus the envelopes and the postage and the printing.
So are we talking about the minutes and the directory to go together, or am I mixing two concepts at once? That shouldn't be doing that.
I think you're mixing, David. I think it's separate. I think that's $22 or something. That would be just for the minutes being sent out. Right, Chris?
Yeah, that's a total different thing. Two different things.
So I guess what I'm trying to do is, can we consider both of them at the same time? But I guess that's my answer is no. That'd be, well, it's a kind of different on it, because we're talking about sending the minutes just for the people that don't have the email, and the directories to everybody. I
Right.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
I got another quick for you that I got this past month that's totally unrelated to that. But I got a call from Dan Pipkin, I believe is his last name, who's Henry's and wants to. He's all excited about. He just moved down to Raleigh, and he's all excited about getting North Carolina going with the Federation, and he wants to meet with everybody. So we'll do that after this pandemic is over. But at least I got a call from him, so I'm sure Henry will be glad to know that his right-hand man is at the job. So, whether or not you might not, but it's Dan Pipkin is who the gentleman is.
We need a motion to authorize printing and mailing of the directory.
I make a motion. Did we do it?
Second.
Look at it.
Bail me out again, John.
I'll second it.
So the motion's been made to go forward with the directories and print them and send them to all members. The motion's been made and seconded. Do we have we'll take a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? So I guess that's what we need to go forward, Bruce. Is that correct?
Okay.
Are we missing any steps of the process to authorize you to go forward with it?
No, I didn't check to see how much they charged last year, but I think it figures out about $1.40 a book. So, it's some expense, but not overwhelming. And we have less members now than we did last year. So I probably won't order as many as I did last year. So hopefully it'll be no price increase of any amount over the, of course, it's been 2 years since we've done one. So that's kind of reason I was kind of hoping we could go ahead and do one this year. Because we have, some new members and of course a lot of it dropped off, and so it's been some changes, in a 2-year period.
Hey, Bruce, if you need Michael's email, check if you have it with the new membership. If not, I'll give it to you.
Okay. You're going to send it to me.
Yeah.
You have my email. You have my email address, don't you?
If you're in the membership old book, I have it.
Yeah, it's in the back there.
Okay.
Just send it to me, and I'll work it up.
Okay.
All right.
Bruce,
Yeah.
the membership, the email address that's in the last book, and I think I sent you the change to update it. I'm not sure. But
I don't have my list up here. I can run down and get it real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, I have just as your name, Edgar Hellman at yahoo.com.
that's correct. That's the latest update. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bruce, this is Chris.
Yes.
The cost to mail the book, if it's less than 2 ounces, it's 75 cents a book. If it goes over, if it's 2 ounces or more, up to 3 ounces, it's $1 a book.
Yeah. Well, that'll be covered by the credit we have. So.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Bruce?
Yes.
If you could integrate the email addresses with the entries rather than having them separate at the end of the book, I think that would be helpful. Then you wouldn't go look and see if somebody has an email address. You'd know right away when you look up their name.
Yeah, I don't know if I can work it or not. I got it formatted, so it might not be able to work it. So I'll see, but I don't think it'll work.
Okay, well, do what you can.
Yeah, Bruce, I was going to ask you about the mechanics of the system that's in the headquarters office, the list of members, or is something
your alarm on your clock is going off and you're breaking up, so I didn't hear what you're saying.
Okay, I'll wait then.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead now.
Okay, I just wanted the mechanics of how you will be sending out or constructing the directory. Is it using the system that headquarters has updated, or is there a separate system that you keep?
That's the one I use. Yeah. Now I can use the headquarters list to print the labels. That would be okay. I can do that.
All right. Yeah, we talked about.
So we that'll work.
Yeah. All right.
And so I'll do that. I'm using an old system, and I've got it all formatted. And to try to change it, I'm afraid it's going to really mess it up. But maybe over maybe by next year we can work it out better. But I think it's pretty much I got it sewed up to go like I have it right now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Dave Dropkin, can you hear me? I don't know whether he's hearing me or not.
Can you hear me? I finally
Yes,
think.
I can hear you.
Hallelujah.
Uh,
Okay.
I have a member that passed away,
Okay.
but it was back in October. And his last name was Benson, Benten. And he's in the first page of the directory, or page 10, I believe. He was 90 years old, and he passed in October the 9th.
Okay.
It came down from headquarters. He had dues withholding, so apparently someone is taking care of it because, headquarters knows about it. But I thought I'd mention to you that I looked it up in the obituary, and he was listed. Yeah, you had to go back 6 months to find him, but it's legitimate. Whatever they sent out was correct.
Okay.
His first name is Birger, and the last name is Benten, I believe it is. Benson.
Okay. I'll send out some information to his family if I can find it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, are we squared away on all those orders of business of yours, Bruce? Can I move on now, or?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we got it covered.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, Ernestine, are you still with us to give a sunshine report?
Yeah, I gave a quart bag of can tabs to Debbie to take to Duke. And that's all I have.
Okay. I'm looking forward to us meeting face to face again so we can start collecting those tabs again, huh?
Yes. Well, this quart bag just came from the people in the building that I live in.
Oh, I wondered how you got them. Okay.
So I stuck a quart jar before they come in the door.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you.
And so Debbie was very happy she came and picked them up here.
Are you still collecting corks from wine bottles?
Not now.
Okay, I got a bag full of them.
I'm sorry.
I understand. I didn't know you were on, but one of the people that we sent a letter to and you called last month, he was the one that reinstated. So
yeah,
we got a little bit of result there in the right direction.
He was glad that I called him.
Okay. Ernestine is my right-hand man.
Okay. Dave Dropkin, Service Officer, do you have a report?
Just that a couple of things. I didn't see that I got my notice of annuity adjustment. So I went to the www.servicesonline.opm.gov and was able to print out my annuity statement from them. So that's one thing that you could do, and also check all your benefits and deductions and things like that. The other thing I have is I have a couple of copies of Be Prepared for Life events for your survivors, what they need to know. So if anybody needs that, I still have a couple of copies, and I can probably get more from DC.
David, what the address of the for your annuity? What was that email address you had?
Okay, www.servicesonline. SERVICEONLINE.OPM.gov.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You'll get your 1099 or a report that way too when it comes out. So one other question I had about the dues. Are we paying more this year? Has the dues gone up this year?
I don't know.
I thought it was some talk that we were going to go up.
Yes, the national dues have increased as of January 1st to $48 if you pay the full amount.
Okay.
If you sign up for dues withholding, you get I think it's a 10% discount.
Okay.
Well, I paid dues from deduction, and it went up on my deduction from my pension. So
Right.
they went up somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't see mine going up. It's 409, and it was last year 409, but okay. The last thing is, I wonder if everybody's getting these communications at NARF on your email. I mean, they've got news and information message from the president at least once a month. That's all I have.
As a matter of information, it went up to $475 a month.
Okay.
All right, thank you, David. John, legislative report, sir.
Yes, sir. The government got funded. After waiting until almost the last minute, the president signed into law the huge bill that funded the government through the fiscal year, and also included in it was a $900 billion COVID relief bill. The continuity of the unemployment relief had already expired, and so that created problems for getting the new funding out because they had to start over. The bill was signed 24 hours before the government funding ran out, and so they saved the government from shutting down once again in this president's term by the skin of their teeth. Under the COVID relief, most persons earning less than $75,000 a year will get a $600 payment tax-free. And if you filed for your taxes electronically, the government has your information, and you should already have your $600 in your bank account. We do. My wife just told me that it was confirmed that it was there.
Yeah, I got mine also.
The Senate Majority Leader refused to allow a vote on the House-passed bill to raise that payment to $2,000, as advocated by the President and most of the Democrats in both the House and the Senate. So that didn't go anywhere. Maybe it will after the inauguration. The National Defense Appropriation Act, NDAA by its acronym, was vetoed by the president, but both houses of Congress overrode his veto with more than a 2/3 majority in each house. The bill funds many of the activities of our national defense, including pay for the armed forces. The president vetoed the bill because he didn't want name changes to be considered for the military bases that have been named after those great Confederate generals like Fort Bragg. And another issue that the bill addressed, it was just a serious issue. The NARF's legislative issues, the government funding bill contained a 3.1% pay raise for civilian federal employees, and that was equivalent to the military pay raise. Also, 12 weeks of paid parental leave for federal employees was included in the National Defense Authorization Act. No cuts to COLAs were in the bills, but neither was the change to CPIE for calculating the COLAs. So there's no no change there. The executive order EO 13957 that set up a new category of federal employees that converted many professional jobs to political appointees. There's no information on what happened to that. As far as I know, it probably went into effect, but the new president could reverse that order when he gets into office. As probably everybody is aware, the runoff for the 2 Senate seats in the state of Georgia, and that will decide whether the new president is going to have a friendly Senate or whether he's going to have to contend with Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans, who blocked much of Obama's legislative priorities and many of his judicial appointments. On the COVID vaccine, Governor Cooper has indicated that persons 75 and older will be included in the next group to receive the vaccine in North Carolina. This could start in Wake County in a week or two. There's supposed to be a vaccine management system to go online for people to sign up, and it supposedly will tell you when your group is eligible to get the vaccine and ideally help you find a nearby provider. None of that is available yet, but it might be. If you're 75 or older, keep your ears open. You may be eligible to get your first shot of your vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's the director of the NIH Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, a lot of notoriety lately. He has taken his first shot of the vaccine, and he and I both urge all of people to get vaccinated as soon as they're eligible. Last item I have is the EPA administrator has been designated for the new administration, and his name is Michael Regan, and he's been the director of North Carolina's Department of Environmental Quality. As the director of the DEQ here in North Carolina, he led the negotiations that resulted in the cleanup of the Cape Fear River, which has been contaminated with industrial compounds. For the folks who don't know what the PFAS is, the PF is polyfluoral, and any fluorine compounds are almost impossible to be broken down in nature, so they just hang around for almost forever. We also negotiated with Duke Energy to clean up several of the coal ash dumps in North Carolina, 7 of the 9, if I have my numbers right. Before being head of DEQ, Reagan was the regulator for EPA for 10 years, and then 8 years with the Environmental Defense Fund, where Governor Cooper found him and appointed him to lead the. So if anyone has any questions on anything?
Yeah, John, I got one. This is Chris. What's Mr. Reagan's title? Is NC what? His old one in the state.
He's director of the Department of Environmental Quality.
Okay. Also, I just checked for those of us veterans. I checked with the VA yesterday and got an appointment for my first shot on the 27th, I think, or 26th. So they're available.
You got an appointment?
Yeah. With the VA. Well, I'm getting disability from them, and I got an email that said it's the VA is giving out the shots, so I called them and got an appointment.
Oh, you got it from the VA, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to
So any of
know.
us that are veterans can do the same thing. If you need an address or an email address, call me, I'll give it to you.
Hey, John, that was going to be my question. Those of us that are not veterans, what's the best way for us to get access to the vaccine? Through our personal doctor?
You know, there isn't a lot of hard information on that at the moment. I talked to my local pharmacist who I get flu shots from, and he said he expects to have availability in a couple of weeks. He's with Walgreens. So you can try that, or I expect, query your doctor. Those are the two things that I would recommend trying, at least until they get this online, what do they call it, vaccine management system up. There, I expect you'll put in your age and other information to ask for, so they can sort you into whatever group that you're going to fit in, and then they'll let you know when you're eligible. But none of that is up yet, so that's all in the future.
I'd like to add a little information. Governor Cooper's assistant, the woman doctor that speaks with him, I don't know her. I don't remember her name.
Andy Cohen?
Yeah, she is going to be going with the Biden administration. Michael's a deputy assistant that works with Michael. He knows her personally from the synagogue that he goes to. So that's just a little inside information that eventually she's going to be going with the Biden administration. So I just want to.
He's been rumored for the Department of Health and Human Services. I don't know if that's what the scuttlebutt is.
I don't know.
That's all I have, Dave.
Okay, thank you, John. Good report. All right, for our NARPAC report, I wasn't sure whether Jim or John or a combination of the two were going to give that.
I don't have any information.
Okay. Jim, are you still on the line? Do you have any NARPAC information to share with us?
No, I don't have any at this time. They're still sending out emails requesting folks to send it in on their own and to be a sustainer. But that's the only information that I have right now.
Okay. Well, then I do. Our speaker in February is going to be the NARPAC speaker. So that's moving on the agenda to the future programs. That's who we have lined up to speak to us at our February meeting. Look forward to hearing directly from someone in the headquarters office about NARPAC. So, okay. Any final questions or comments? Anything that we've not talked about? Anybody want to bring up at this time?
Bruce, I sent you an email with Michael's information on it.
Okay, thank you. So he's officially with us?
Yes, he got his welcome letter from NARP in the mail.
Okay. I better put him in the book, hadn't I?
Yeah. Just read the email.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's paying his dues, let's include him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, is there anything we missed we need to talk about? Oh, what a good meeting this was. I want to thank you all for participating. Again, wish you all a Happy New Year. And like I said earlier, our next meeting, well, maybe I didn't say, is on February 2nd of 2021. So looking forward to that. And if y'all have anything that you want to bring up at that meeting in the meanwhile, let John or me or Jim or the appropriate party know. And other than that, I want to thank you all for your participation, and have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dave, for
Thank you. Mhm.
thank you, Dave, for presiding, and all of you that participated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And I double that.